Hi, everyone. I'm Lee, founder and chief enthusiast at Healthy Anywhere. Today, we are joined with a long-standing community champion from Oakland, California. We're talking to chef, caterer, and co-owner of Rocky's Market in Oakland, Corinne Kinczel. Corinne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Uh, Thank you for being here. Wanted to kick it off with our icebreaker question. Now, what does healthy mean to you?
Hmm.
And why is it important?
Healthy as a whole or healthy eating?
However, you take that to mean.
Okay. I think so as a whole, I believe it's important for to be healthy in all aspects of your life. What you put in your body, the exercise that you have, how you manage emotions and energies that are coming in to you
Mm.
and your relationships. I think it's really important to balance your life, and that leads to healthy living.
That's beautiful. And that's really encompassing. I love how you even threw the energies. And I know you do some energy work on the side. I don't know if we'll have time to dive into that, but I'm curious to know how you arrived at that higher level of definition.
Yeah, I believe that we are first energy, and we're living a human existence right now, and we're supposed to be taking care of these bodies that we have been given, and everything that you absorb, including energies, good and bad, have a direct effect on your health. And so it's what you consume. If you consume a lot of negative energies or a lot of harsh energies or a lot of just negative things, like the news, for instance, is not great for us to watch. It's always such doom and gloom. And so whatever we take in is how it sits inside us. And so I choose not to watch the news anymore.
Mm.
I get information other ways, and I don't need to know exactly what's happening every second of the day. I think it perpetuates living in fear. And that's
Mm.
exactly what I don't want to be doing, because then I can't do my job. And my job, I feel, is to bring more love and light and healthy ways of living to educate other people.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful, Corinne. Thanks for sharing. And as you were saying that, the energies you bring in, I was thinking about there's a saying that you are the average. It's terrible to say you're the average of these people. You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Mm.
That's a way of saying, okay, I'm spending time with these people, so I'm going to absorb that energy. So it's a really good reminder to take stock
Mhm.
of what are you surrounding yourself with, like people and things like news. I'm with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot deal. So it is so important to protect yourself. So I appreciate that perspective that you bring. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure. Thank you.
And you're also talking about what you put into your body. I know from talking with you earlier, you're very passionate about sustainable agriculture
Yeah.
and farming and soil health and all that. Could you tell me a little bit about your passion and how it relates to what you're doing right now?
Sure. Like you said, I own a grocery store in Oakland, California, as well as a prepared food line. And when I bought the grocery store, there was both organic and conventional produce on the shelves. And every time I started to order the conventional produce, I had a visceral reaction to it. And we decided pretty early on that it was important to only carry 100% organic produce. Not 100% organic products around the store, because that's a lot more challenging. But for myself, I really believe in consuming the cleanest foods possible. And that is just the organic things that are made from organic plants. What happens with the conventional growth method is that there's so many pesticides and herbicides and insecticides used, which actually started after World War II, after a surplus of nerve gas and all
Mm.
other poisons that and neurotoxins that were used in warfare. And they didn't know what to do with it. So they decided to put it in our agriculture. And
Sounds so brilliant.
right, right. So when you eat or when people eat conventional produce, you are putting neurotoxins and all these chemicals in your body. And over periods of time, that I think every now and then it won't make much of a difference.
Mm.
But after time and time again of consuming these products, you have a buildup. And then people wonder why we have an increase of cancers, we have an increase of Alzheimer's, we have an increase of dementia, Parkinson's, all of these old people diseases. And that's pretty much where they stem from. Some of it is genetic. However, most of it is from what you consume.
Mhm.
And so I feel being in the public, I'm very much involved in our public community. And I feel very much that it's my duty to inform people of what they're putting in their bodies. And then they can make their own choices. I'm not the organic Nazi and making sure that nobody consumes any of it, and I consume it too. Like when I eat out, there's not that many places that have organic food available to you.
Mhm.
So whenever I eat out, I'm
Mhm.
consuming those chemicals too.
I got to get you we got to get you a log on for the Healthy Anywhere app so you can just hit the organic button and
I
learn
love
more
that.
and find. Yeah, yeah. So we'll get you on that. I'll follow up afterwards.
Great. Thank you.
So what stood out to me is you were talking about you had a visceral reaction. So it's like that energy. I could tell you are very sensitive even to have that reaction to food and produce. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. And it not only
Um,
tastes better, but it's better for you and also the earth.
mm,
And a lot of the conventional, when they do grow things conventionally and use these things, it ruins the dirt and the soil and it depletes it from all the minerals and nutrients that are supposed to be in your food, but it's not getting in there because there's nothing left. It's so
yeah.
depleted. And we have now ruined a very large percent of the soil in the United States because of this. And there's now a big movement for regenerative farming. And yeah, exactly. And
Love it.
permaculture and all that stuff. So I encourage, if anybody's really interested, I encourage you to take a look and go down that rabbit hole of all the things that are happening and what you can do to make a difference.
100%. And I don't know if any resources come to mind. I'm familiar with the Rodell Institute. I think they're like rodell.org. We can drop some links in the show notes. I don't know if you have any other resources that you would recommend.
Well, there's Food Revolution. There's a TV network that has a lot of really great documentaries. There's a documentary I just watched a couple weeks ago that was fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's called The Need to Grow, and it's just fabulous. I think that it's
Mm.
really interesting, and I think people would really like to watch it.
Oh, and I can't wait to check it out. I had not heard of the food revolution. I love learning about all the new voices and all the new faces in regenerative agriculture and fighting for a cleaner, more healthy and sustainable food system. Because when you talk about those chemicals and how we've depleted the ground, well, think about the hands that are
Hmm.
touching, coming in contact with these chemicals and what happens to their bodies and their families. And there are even studies on what they call the fence line communities. These are communities, they've got homes that are up against these farms using the pesticides, and there's runoff into the water supply, and then there's just fumes. And
Right.
I was reading where they have a higher propensity to have respiratory diseases
Yeah,
and
that too.
asthma.
Absolutely.
It's like, wow, we are literally poisoning ourselves and communities. And there are people that can't even do anything about it because like this is their livelihood or this is where they need to live. And it's like, how are we allowing that to
Yeah.
happen? It's amazing. So I'm hopeful when I learn about these new things and new shows. And it seems like there's a lot more action and awareness, public awareness building. So
Like,
maybe something can be done about it. I know
yeah,
it's going to have to be
we
done.
need to keep talking about it and doing what we
Yeah,
can to change that.
that's great.
Like shopping at farmers markets, for instance, is really
Hmm.
great. If you have any local small grocery stores around you, it's better to
Like
support
Rockies in Oakland.
them. Because for us little guys, I'm going to Safeway or Whole Foods, which is Amazon anyway, or Lucky's or Kroger's, whatever you have in your neighborhood. It's just why not support the little guy who's trying to put their kids through college instead of padding the wallets of these huge corporations even more. We're just trying to
Huh.
do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm curious, Corinne, to hear how you got into this in the first place. Like, how did you end up going into the food business?
I had a passion for cooking. And so back in the late 90s, I started a personal chef and catering business. And then I got married and had babies and was lucky enough to raise them. And then I got divorced in 2014. And a friend of mine asked if I wanted to buy a grocery store with her. And so I said, yes, that sounds awesome. And then, long story short, she ended up going off and doing another thing. And I opened a little cafe and prepared food line and and did catering, doing catering again. And then my new boyfriend at the time, he was working a desk job. The guy who was supposed to buy the store had a falling out with the owner. And so the owner asked me if I wanted to buy it. I talked to my boyfriend, who we'd been dating a year,
Oh,
to buy.
wow. That's bold.
I know, right? Yeah. We knew right away we had a special bond. So he's, yes, absolutely. And that was in 2000. We bought the store. We took over the store in 2016. And yeah, it's been great. He's my husband now. Bye.
Okay, I was going to say that could go one of two ways.
Yeah.
You're like going into business. This is serious after a year. So happy it obviously turned out very well for you guys.
In the grocery store, in the produce department.
Oh, are you a kid? Wait, you had the ceremony?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. All organic produce, of
That's
course.
right. And we got flowers straight from the farm that delivers some of her produce to us.
And I know what a beautiful story. So you've got Rockies today, and you still have the prepared foods in the back, and that's called
Two local girls.
Two Local Girls. Okay. And so you're doing catering and prepared foods. Like, tell me about the prepared foods that you're doing.
Yeah, sure. So I have a staff of 4. We make sandwiches, salads, and soups daily. And also we do have entrees in the case for if you want to heat something up. And we just use the produce that we sell at the store and buy sustainable meat from people. We do buy some meat from actual farms and the people we know who grow the animals. Some of the meat comes from Nyman Ranch, which is a conglomerate of people who raise animals sustainably. We like to support those types of businesses to make the foods that we serve.
Now, I know that community is one of your core values. And I would love to know more about how you're involving community in your business.
Yeah, sure. Twice a year, we do a food truck event for the community in our parking lot. And we have a bouncy house. We just had one this last weekend. We had a
Oh,
bouncy
wow.
house and a few food trucks and kids corner, face painting. And then we had the Pacific Boy Choir Academy come perform. And that was nice. That was fun. They're like high school boys. And then we also had a showing of a documentary called In the Dirt, which was a really cool documentary about how some people brought cycling to the Navajo Nation and the positive effects it had that they weren't anticipating. So that was really fun. And then I do Mind, Body, Soul fairs twice a year. So we have artists and people in the healing arts come and we set up tables in the parking lot. That's fun. This next year, I really want to do a kids business fair because I think that is super
Interesting.
fun and get the schools involved. And let's see, we do, what other things we do? We've done baby, like new mom meetups, trying to get new moms out of the house. And so to encourage them to come meet other moms in the neighborhood with babies similar age. Gosh, we have a bunch of different little things that we do. Just,
Yeah, it just sounds so thoughtful. It sounds like a lot of work. How are you pulling off these events and with like how do you get everyone to come together and
I've been
show
doing it
up?
for so long. I just
Mm.
have this, I love to plan things. So I think that already comes very easily and naturally to me. And I have a decent reach on social media. People show up for them for the events that we have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know when you were in Brooklyn Basin, there were fantastic events. Like you had dancing. I remember there was like symphony or concerts and musicians
Yeah.
and it blew me away. Was it like every Friday?
Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we would have live music
Oh,
and comedy on Saturday nights. And then the Oakland Symphony actually came for a series of 3 concerts. And
that's what
that
it was.
is so,
Wow.
it was amazing. There were like over 1,000 people there. It was fortunately the night that the conductor passed the first one. And so the other two became the celebration of life for him. So
Mm.
it's really beautiful. I was so honored to be able to host that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we did some events for the Black Panthers, their 55th anniversary party we did. And
Wow.
we've done a lot of fun stuff. Hosted the Black Cowboys down there. I love hosting people and
It's so cool.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. We came by a few times and it's such a cool vibe, a wonderful scene. I know that location's closed. And so you're focused on the Oakmore neighborhood location, which has been longstanding since 1961. Is that?
Actually, before that, it's been a grocery store since 1939.
Wow.
But Rocky's an actual person. He's still alive. He's 89. And he bought it in 59 or 60 and opened the store in 61. And we decided to keep the name.
Oh, yeah. That's great. That's a lot of history.
Yeah.
And I know recently you're up against a lot of challenges. Tell us about,
Yeah.
tell
Well,
us what's going on.
there's this bridge that connects us to the main street. And thankfully, they're seismically retrofitting it. However, when they have traffic control up, it affects our sales a lot. We actually started a GoFundMe for people to help us if they feel like they would like to. But I also don't like to push it. It's a sensitive thing. We
Yeah.
really like asking people for money per se. But there's so many people who are grateful that we're in the community and remember what it was like before we were there. Actually, the store was closed for a year or two before we took it over. And before that, it was cigarettes and lottery tickets. So it's a very different store now. And right before we bought it, it was not the greatest.
Not organic, not all organic produce, huh?
No, not at
And beautiful, sustainable dishes coming out of the pickup window.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What would you say has been one key bit of wisdom that you've picked up along this journey? You've obviously it's almost been a decade, right, of running the
Yeah.
market.
I would say if you're passionate about something, just keep at it.
Mm.
I don't have to just roll with the punches a lot of the time and just take it as it comes. Sometimes you have to pivot and do something else, and that's okay. Just follow the journey and don't have too many expectations because that's what leads to disappointment.
Mm. But keep going.
Keep going.
I love it. Okay. I'm with you, Corinne. I'm going to keep going. Love that.
Yeah.
What would you say has been most surprising about your journey so far?
I think the most surprising to me is just the outpouring of love from the community. It's so nice to hear how much we mean to people and how much they appreciate us. And I really didn't expect it to the magnitude that it's at today. And we're just so grateful for everybody who shops with us and has helped us and along the way, small and big. And yeah, it's just been an interesting journey and kind of can't wait to see what happens
It's
next.
very exciting. Very
Yeah.
exciting. What's one thing you wish more people knew about your business or about the industry in general?
About us, I think that what I wish people knew was how, like, the actual price of food
Mm.
is so expensive, especially if it's real food and not a bunch of processed food. And people tend to forget that the good for you foods just costs a little bit more. And because even and also just because we're a little mom and pop doesn't mean that we are price gouging. People assume that, oh, they're going to be so
Oh,
because they are small, but that's not true. We really have great deals, and we often we'll just sell stuff at cost because we know how expensive things are. And we know, like, for instance, the blueberries right now are not in season. And other places are selling them for $14.99 for a little tiny, I think it's 6 ounce maybe thing.
ooh.
They're so expensive. Our cost is $7.99, and that's what we're asking people to pay for us. So
Mm.
that's just one example of the little things that we do around the store for our customers, just so that they are able to get the blueberries for their child who absolutely needs blueberries no matter what, even if they're
Mm.
not in season. So we do a
Mm.
lot of that kind of thing just because we care about what people won't buy. And
And as you're that, yeah, that's such a great point. And when I think of like when I was living in San Francisco and there'd be the corner market, you grab certain things and yeah, they were expensive.
and some
I mean,
places are like that, but
yeah,
we are not.
yeah, that is really important to get in front of because that might be an assumption
Mhm.
or something I'm not aware that I'm thinking. So that's great to know that you're so thoughtful and so conscious of that, that you're looking at how you're pricing and then you're just saying, hey, we're going to sell this. We're not going to make anything off of it, basically.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's remarkable.
the big box stores, they don't have that power. They can't just say, "Oh, we're going to sell this and not make any money," because
Mm.
they only care about the bottom line. Yeah. It's also a very razor thin margin that we make. And there's a lot of expenses that people don't see. Also, our PG&E bill, we have a very high electric bill because of all the refrigeration. It's like $8,000 a month. It's
Oh
insane.
my goodness.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm actually looking into solar, with trying to find someone that can help us do that. That would be,
Interesting.
yeah, we'd really like to go solar if possible.
Yes.
So that's a long-term goal.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. So I know you're sourcing from a lot of the local sustainable farmers. Does that make it more affordable to you? Because you would think, okay, if it's in season and you're able to get it from the super hyper local guys, like maybe that gives you an advantage. But I don't know. You're probably seeing costs go up no matter what. So what is that looking
Uh,
like?
Yeah, we do see things go up no matter what, but you're right. If things are in season, we buy, and when things are in season, we buy from local
Mm-hmm.
farms. And we have relationships with the farmers, and I think that is awesome. I love knowing where my food comes from. I
Yes.
think it's really, really a nice thing, and knowing how they treat the land and care so much about the plants and the fruits and vegetables that they grow. They really just they care so much.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Sure, Blossom Bluff, you guys are awesome. And Blue House, we love Blossom Bluff does beautiful stone fruit in the summertime. It's just it's just amazing. I don't know how they do it, but like, it's just so sweet and juicy and just yummy. And Blue House is out in Pescadero. I actually interviewed the owner. We went out there, and he talked about the soil and how he rotates crops and stuff like that. I actually have that up on my YouTube channel.
Oh, great. Great. We'll have to link over to that.
I'm starting a new project about just showing people where their food comes from, because I feel like there's such a disconnect about what we eat and where it comes from. I think that it'll be an interesting show.
Oh, I look forward to seeing that and following that. And yeah, it's just so important. And I'm impressed. It sounds like you never have a down moment. You come up with next.
I like to be busy. It keeps me out of trouble.
Corinne, anything else that you would want to talk about before we wrap up, or any
Mm.
points that you would want to really drive home?
Just thinking about our planet and what we can do to help combat what's happening with the climate change and in the soil and the growth of our food and our sustainable future is just something that's really important for people to start looking into, no matter what you're interested in. Maybe you're not interested in the dirt, or you're not interested in whatever, blah, blah, blah. But just find something that you're interested in and go down that rabbit hole and see where it takes you.
That's lovely. And how can people who want to support you in Rocky's Market, what's the best way for people to support you right now?
Just come shop at the store. Yeah. But we love seeing new people and we love seeing our regular customers. And it's more than a grocery store, it's a community hub.
That is wonderful. Thank you, Corinne. And thank you to Brady, your other half, who's also helping to sustain the operation. Wish you nothing but the best. We look forward to watching all the good to come in the future with Rockies and everything that you're going to bring to the community. So thank you again, Corinne.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
My pleasure too.